Warning: the following content contains language that may be inappropriate for younger viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Welcome to the Let's Get Heavy podcast, your exclusive backstage pass to the realm of heavy music. Join us as we engage in conversations with amazing musicians across the metalverse. I'm your host Stevie, and we are about to get heavy with Nico from Katatonia. Remember, if you are enjoying the content, please like, subscribe, and if you're feeling extra generous, to leave a comment. It's completely free to do, and it helps us out greatly. So enjoy the interview. Time is short, so we'll get straight into it. I want to welcome you to the Let's Get Heavy podcast, where we like to highlight bands and try and spread a little bit of positivity throughout the metalverse. My name is Stevie, and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Stevie. Nice to be here.
And welcome not only to the show, to the Katatonia family. You joined the band recently this year, which is incredible, exciting, being a part of the new lineup. How has your experience been integrating into Katatonia, and what are your feelings about being part of this new chapter in the band's legacy?
It's really good. Experience so far is really good. We get along fantastically, and we probably the reason why they asked me to jump in the first place. But it's it's fantastic. It's really like finding soulmates. Me and Jonas really clicked. He's one of those guys, when he sends you check out this song deal, it's always a good one. And it's kind of like the same for me. So we have, which is fairly important considering our choice of business, that we really like the same music. Not all of it, obviously, but he's one of those that you can trust.
Everyone's going to have some different tastes, aren't they?
Exactly, of course. But I have many friends.
Makes the world go round.
It does. But it's also nice to know that if he really vouches for something, I know it's going to be something in there. So that's really great. It's really challenging to play their songs, old ones and new ones, which I think is really cool to, it's kind of not renew, but there's a lot of odd meter stuff going on that I'm not accustomed to. So it really, really have to work for it. And, but it's really rewarding. So, all in all, it's just grand. I'm sure that's going to change.
Of course, more tours, etc.
But right now it's like that, that stage in the relationship where you just you go to cafes and then you go home and shag your brains out. I mean, obviously we don't do that, but metaphorically speaking.
Yeah, I hear you. But you touched on some challenging moments. What areas have you found most challenging, and how have you overcome them?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just rehearsing. You have to. It's not. I mean, it's. I would say it's kind of a way of thinking that it doesn't really make. Now I'm starting to get the recipe, but in the beginning it was just like, well, what's happening here? It was just all these, not counting to four. All of a sudden it's just seven, and then there's five, and there's all kinds of stuff that you can't really tell when you listen to it. You just jam along, but once you get into it under the hood, so to speak. It's so no. I would say every song has at least one part where it's like, oh, here we go again. but it's also really fun. It's when it's kind of like if you've been baking pizza for all your life, you stop thinking about it. That's a charm in itself, also, but. I prefer to learn like a new dish. Like it's kind of like pizza, but with I don't know, sushi on top or whatever. So you have to, you can't go up there and just switch off, start thinking about laundry. It's like you have to be in the moment or you fuck it up. And so that I really like. Again, I'm sure that'll change.
So long as you're enjoying it, that's
I'm enjoying
challenging
it
and rewarding. That's the main part.
That's exactly what it's really. The challenging is not as good as the reward. So
Mm.
I'm chuffed. I'm really digging it.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. Well, we are in the process of a new album coming out, I believe on June the 5th. The new album has a really interesting title, Nightmares as Extensions of the Walking State. Can you tell us what about the title means to you and what the album generally is about? Does it maybe explore some mental health?
I would say it's actually nightmares as extensions of a waking state. So it's not walking
Waking
state.
State,
Yeah,
my apologies.
but it's still as confusing, walking, waking. But I'm never been a fan of describing art, mainly because I've realized that the way I interpret a title or whatever is usually not at all what was intended, and then that kind of degraded my, I felt dumb, and you're like, okay, so it's about shopping. I thought it was about, I don't know, killing seal cubs or whatever. And so uh, the album is it's definitely, I mean, it's dark and it's exploring a kind of like the title suggests, a how to put like what's the dreams. It's kind of like a not clear bad dream, but there's I don't want to I can't explain it, and even if I could I wouldn't, because I I really believe that it's in the eye of the beholder.
Mm.
So if it means to you that it's about, getting drunk and party, fine, go with that. And it is not my place to tell you. It's more interesting to see what it means to people that, hear it and enjoy it or don't enjoy it. I think that is like, this is just that, or then, and it's really, that's more interesting to hearing the chef describing what's on the plate.
Mm.
I want to hear your reaction. It's like, did you enjoy it? First of all, it's like, yeah, it was. And then when you say how the combination of whatever that might have been an accident on our part, like, the treble is too loud or whatever, then if you really like that, and it's kind of like it diminishes the experience, I think, for the listener. So,
But
uh,
that's the beauty of music in general as a
yeah,
whole, isn't it? That it's subjective and it's all down to the
yeah.
listener at the end of the day, isn't it? So, yeah, yeah, exactly what you're saying on that. Do you know of any other? So, for you being a fairly new member, looking on the outside, how do you feel this compares to previous work?
Uh, well, it's quite different. I've always been a fan of moody, vibey music like Pink Floyd and such. And this has kind of an element of that. And so it's really nice to not having to be full on aggressive with Entombed. It was just, one thing, full non-stop, full stop, which was cool. But this is really much more dynamic, and so I think it's a step up. I'm thinking like musically, I think anything that's more challenging, even that doesn't have to be harder to play, but to get your head around musically, I think that's a step up.
Mm.
So I'm really chuffed that I got this opportunity, because it's really I don't want to say sophisticated. I just did though, but it's got a nice like a little that melancholic kind of like gentleman-y, whatever you want to call it. That suits me.
Mm. I
Um,
think I understand what you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
now, I mean, Nico 30 years ago would have probably gone, man, that's just slow, man. They need to speed up or something. But but that was 30 years ago. So I'm really happy to be at this in this band now. It fits me well.
Exciting times, and
Yeah, for sure.
hopefully we'll get to see the band in the UK very soon as well. Um,
Yeah,
but
we'll come. I
mu
think we'll come in November, December, something. I think it's UK.
Nice, right?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I'll have to double check.
yeah,
Do,
me
do
too.
hopefully in a city near me, Newcastle, hopefully
Yeah,
for you.
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Um, I've lost where I am here. So musically, have you experimented with any new textures, any new approaches, sounds, samples that you might not have used in the past?
Yeah, I mean that's constantly going on, I would say. You always experiment. But the way guitar gear has developed as per late, I think uh, it's so easy to experiment because you have everything in a box. I mean, we're doing the neural DSP thing. We're doing it's got every amp I ever owned in one little fucking pedal board and all the compressors, and it's just so you even though one part of me is like, get on with it, just plug in, you get a decent amp sound, and it's all in the fingers. Another part of me is like just sitting there for hours doing all these weird combinations. So yeah, I mean it's always and also with this band, it's there's a lot of ambient. There's a lot of room for you don't have to have a guitar sounding like a guitar. It could be sounding like a synth or piano or whatever. So there's really no boundaries to be honest, right now it's like it's almost too much. There's too many tools. So I'm like I kind of
Spoiled for choice, really.
yeah, exactly. I mean, part of me is wanting to go back when I had that one Charvel guitar and a Marshall, and that was it,
Mm.
because you didn't have to think so much about it. But these days, it's no, I mean, being a sound freak and also working as an engineer and producer, it's really cool to always explore sound. That's what life is
Well,
about,
have
really.
you done any engineering on this album personally?
No, no, thank God. I did. I sat on several chairs on an Entomb album back in the day, and almost broke me. So I've said to
Really?
myself that, yeah, I mean, there's a reason why there's a sous chef, a chef, someone that serves. You can't do everything and
Hmm.
then also be the guest. It's and eating the food. That's insane. So it was really nice to just play guitar and it was really hard at times not to like hold on, interfere, and go, let me EQ this. But it's also really nice to like it is what it is. I trust him, so I just have to play the guitar as well as possible, which is hard enough.
So, with the album due on June 5th, what are your overall feelings and expectations as you prepare to share this new body of work?
Well, I have a good feeling. It's not easy listening. It's going to take people a while to get into it. I think, and that's a good thing because my experience is that if you don't get it immediately, then it will last longer. But and also it's just really it's got a really nice in your face. It's Katatonia as always, but with a twist. So I'm actually it's going to be very interesting to see people's reactions because I've experienced and learned that Catatonia has very passionate fans, so they will air their opinion.
They certainly do. They
Yeah,
certainly do
but
indeed.
I am as of now, before it's released, positive, and I think it's going to go down well. But well, I mean, catch me in 6 months, and maybe I'll change the tune.
Anything that you think might surprise fans?
Oh, not really. No, I
No.
mean, there's a no. I mean, as I said, I think that's an element has always been with Catatonia that there is going to be a surprise. So I'm sure there's like old school fans that are still like talking about the first album, and then there's always uh, people that are going to be pissed off because it didn't sound like the last album. But
I think that's a given, isn't it? You're always going to have that sort of
yeah, I mean,
negativity,
it's
unfortunately.
exactly, and I don't feel that I don't. It's hard for me to say, obviously, because you're been too deep in it. But I don't think there's going to be like a what the hell is going on here kind of surprise. Like funk, what the hell? It's still full on Katatonia, but it's just a little bit quirkier than I guess the Sky, Void of Stars. So,
Mm.
but we'll see. I
Mm.
could just sorry.
Any possible guest appearances?
You mean on the album or live?
Either, either.
Well, it's always possible. There might be. Let's just to not spoil anything. There may be
That's fair
surprises down
enough.
the line.
Totally understandable. Totally understandable. Don't want to give too much away. I want
No,
people to experience it for themselves on the 5th of June. But we
right,
have had a little bit of a teaser with Lilac. Is that correct?
correct.
Released not too long ago. Um, with the release of the single, what made this track the right choice to introduce the album?
Oh man, that's still under debate, and it's really. Now, I mean, we since we really don't know. We are the chefs. We just made a dish, and we've had and the record company and the management has their opinion, which is usually the better one because they're like they have an outside view and their job is just to sell stuff. But it's I'm not sure. I think it's now I kind of realized that it was a cool choice, but when it was first presented, I was like, "What? Are you serious?" So. But I think that's not for me to decide, and people like it, So I'm really happy that at the end of the day, there's no in metal like singles in the same sense as pop music. So basically, the first single doesn't have to be like the hit, not even the second, maybe on the third one. You kind of like, well, this is the statement of the album, If you do that first, then it's just gonna fly by people. So.
Mm.
This as a teaser is really cool, and then people seem to really dig it, which is, but again, I'm like, uh, I try to not get involved in that as too much because I know that I'm partial and I have positively no clue on how to sell albums. So this is there's people, you
Just
at least.
when you said open for debate, would you have a personal preference of what song was released first?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would, yeah, always, but I'm not
Mm.
gonna air it because it doesn't really matter, and I
Fair play.
think it's really good that someone else is interfering and because back to like when you're producing, recording, playing, writing, and it's you lose perspective, so you'll just have to get involved with people that you kind of can trust and then just let them. I mean, obviously, they don't get to decide, but at least trust them to make a good suggestion.
Mm.
I think that is important.
So lyrically, what can you tell us about Lilac? Does it offer a glimpse into the broader themes of the album?
Again, I mean, Jonas's lyrics and the way it's really in the eye of the beholder. I don't, and I think it's especially on this one, it's kind of a feverish vibe to it. It's there's nothing to explain, If I would explain it, he would just be pissed at me, and it would just it wouldn't do it justice, Just if you get something out of the words, great, and whatever you get out of it, that's what it is about, specifically written for you, and anything else is, I think, just confusing.
I hear you. Yeah. Are there any interesting stories or anecdotes from the recording of this song that you could share with us?
Um, Not now. I mean, it's too close. I'm trying to think. It's always when you get this question, it's like, it was very uneventful, and the usual nagging, and everybody is in a weird state of mind when you record an album. It's like there's a lot of bickering and yapping about, but everybody wants the same thing to make it as good as possible, but people tend to forget that, so there's a lot of like arguing and like, which is good, I suppose, because you um, find out which is actually the best idea. But as far as crazy stories of recording guitar solos hanging upside down or so, I can't recall anything. It was pretty a very uneventful as far as went
I
there,
would have paid money to see
Yeah,
that.
I know. Well, I mean, sometimes you're thinking we should do this just to have a story, but I mean, generally recording albums, this is when about the only time musicians are actually focused and concentrated. Everything else is just, bollocks and joking about. But so it was really everybody was really focused, and I think me and Sebastian, the other guitar player, particularly because we were fresh in,
Hmm.
so we're like I was really keen on like not having to do too many retakes because I you know didn't know the song or whatever. So it was really it was working days. So, but
Nice.
and also I'm sure it'll come to mind, but it's too fresh now, so it's all these war stories, they usually come like 5, 6 years after they happen. You're like, "Oh, hold on, we did." So bear with me on that one. I'll get back to you.
No worries. Thank you. So, with the release on the horizon, what are Katatonia's plans for touring and promoting this new album?
Oh, we're gonna do. I think there's gonna be a second single and then a third down the line
Hmm.
before the album is dropped in June. Festivals, we're doing Grasspop, Wacken, and a few more. Maybe like 8, 10 festivals. And then we're touring with Evergrey and name escapes me now. This is embarrassing. Sorry, guys. At least we're doing a tour November, December to hopefully play a bunch of these new songs to anybody who's interested.
Do I have a rough date on the next release?
Next single,
Yes.
I should know this. It's pretty soon, in a few weeks' time, I think.
Hmm.
I have stressful emails from the management trying to get it together. So,
Do we
but
know what the song title is? That's releasing.
it's temporal. I know this. So, which means nothing to people that hasn't heard it. But you've heard the whole album, right? So you know.
Not all of
Uh,
it. Not
Not
all
all
of
of it.
it. Had
Okay.
had a still in the process of just getting time when I can
Right.
sit
Right.
down and actually listen to music. It's a bit difficult these days.
Yeah. I know. Tell me about it. Now that's the weird thing. Like when you work with music, you get very little time to actually enjoy music. I mean, I enjoy it every time you work with it, but it's a different kind of enjoy. It'd be nice to just have like 3 days of getting into freaking Miles Davis or John Coltrane or whatever, something really deep and
Nice.
just
There we go. Some
yeah.
some Willie Nelson and then we're sorted.
There it is. There it is. Right on, man.
Hey, I'm a big country fan, so why not?
Oh, that's me. So then you must be. Have you heard Billy Strings?
I have not.
Oh man,
Uh,
he's the
uh,
brightest shining star on the country. He wails on that instrument. He sings like a
mm,
god,
to
and
making a
it's all
quick note of that.
bluegrass. Yeah, no, it's crazy. He did a song I think with Willie Nelson called California Sober.
I'll
No,
have to
it's
check this
great.
out
I
now.
mean,
I'm
no,
gonna have to check
it's
this
fantastic. He's the man, man. He's like
out.
he's a future Jedi.
Nice. Love
Yeah,
it. Definitely checking that out.
yeah.
So, Because we haven't got much time left. How do you envision these new songs translating to a live setting? Are there any tracks you're particularly excited to perform in a live setting?
I think it's going to perform well. I mean, again, it's a bit quirkier, the arrangements, maybe, but it's also, I think, in a live situation, that's going to translate really well. I'm really looking forward to playing the first song, the opening song of the album, Thrice, because it's got some really intense, cool riff and drum parts that is just I'm imagining will translate really well in a live environment.
Yeah.
So that's going to be
So,
cool. It's going to be really interesting to find out what how this will fly.
mm, so after so many years as a band, what continues to drive and inspire Katatonia's creative journey?
I think, like I saw this interview with Hans Zimmer the other night, and he asked, "Are you ever going to retire?" It's like, no, musicians don't retire. That's because we play music. It's just
Look at Ozzy Osbourne, for example.
yeah, and it's just like, why would you? Even though you're not super successful, it's still. I think it's more interesting now. Once doing it for 30 years, you kind of think you know what you're doing, but then again, like Segovia said, he played the greatest guitar player ever. He started at 4. At 97, he got the question, so what have you learned?
Mm.
And the only thing I've learned is how much I have left to learn. So it's like that's the cool thing about it. We will the discovering and the trying out that's the fun part. Really to play the songs. I mean, eventually this will get tedious because it's just repetition. So I don't think it'll ever stop.
But how that's a question as well, though. How do you, it's always people asking when will you ever retire? How do you stop doing something that you're so incredibly passionate about? Something that you've loved for so many years, you can never
No,
stop
you
it.
don't. I mean, you'll have ups and downs. I've just experienced a down for like when I was just like I didn't feel it for
Mm.
a couple of months, but that only means that when you feel it, it's just so much more. So you don't stop it, and you don't have to, which is really nice. It's really nice to be able to say that
I see
once.
that as metal as a whole. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because
Oh
it
yeah.
has moments when it goes dormant and
Yeah.
then something bang, boom, and then
Yeah. No,
everyone's
I
in
know.
love with it
I know.
again.
Yeah,
So,
you go for a couple of weeks like, okay, it's fucking dead now, man. There's the because some shit band made it big time, but then a great band makes it also, and you're like, hold on, this is insane. This is so fresh and vivid and full of life. Exactly. So you feel like 15 again, which is
mm,
essentially what you want.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Excellent. Well, Nico, thank you so much for giving us your free
Thank
time
you.
and insights into the new album. I'm very much looking forward to it. But before we do call it, is there anything that you wish to say to the fans of Catatonia before we called it a night? Call it an
Uh,
afternoon, sorry.
well, just hope that you enjoy the new one. Sorry for rocking the boat, entering this ship that I know you were all comfortable with as it was, but maybe in time it will prove fruitful for all of us.
Nice.
So, cheers, thanks.
No worries. Well, I'll leave you with the Get Heavy UK creed, which is the rules of the pit or the rules for life. When someone
R-
falls, we pick them up.
right on. I like that.
Thank you very much
Cool,
and
man. Cheers.
enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Take care of yourself.
And you. Thank you very much. Have a nice one.
Bye bye. And
Cheers.
yourself.
Bye.